All right, we made it to 2025. Let's go over my favorite movies of 2024. Hey everyone, it's David Stark from Watcher Pass, and we made it. We made it to 2025. I assume we made it to 2025, and I guess it's time to do a top 10 movies of the year. These are my favorite movies for various reasons. I'm going to kind of go through it quickly, tell you a little, very briefly about why I liked it. Try to keep this pretty short so you can just get the list and maybe go check these out. Now, I calculated up my reviews. I did 158 total movie reviews this year. That means I probably saw like 170, 175-ish movies because there's some movies that I just don't have time to cut. Unfortunately, it's unfortunate it happens, but it's a good portion of movies. So these are my favorites. They are in kind of an order. They can fluctuate around, although I think my top two are my top two. My top three or four are kind of my top four. So, but I liked all of these for various reasons. Now, this will probably be a different list from most of the top lists that you see, mainly because I see a ton of indie movies. I like indie movies, and so there will be fewer mainstream movies on this than I think you would normally expect. A lot more indie films. That's partly just because like if I see an indie film and it really impresses me, that sticks with me more than if like a mainstream movie sticks with me. And I don't know, I just kind of feel like I see these indie movies, other movies will be on more mainstream top 10 lists. I should at least highlight these ones that I really love. So I will very quickly go through my top 10. I have a couple honorable mentions, but let's get started. I'm not going to waste any more time. You got to get 2025 started. So number 10, Twilight of the Warriors Walled In. It is a Hong Kong action movie that has a fantastic cast. Didn't really know what to expect from this, but it is just kind of an action-packed, entertaining movie. I loved all the fight choreography. I thought it was fantastic. I thought it was exciting. I kind of had no expectations going into this, but like the story developed well. I had a decent amount of drama, and the fights were fantastic. Every fight, something got destroyed, and I loved it. Like you'd have a fight in like a room, and every table gets destroyed, the wall gets broken. Like it was exciting and fun, and just very enjoyable. So I really enjoyed it. So that's my number 10. Number 9, Beezel. Beezel is an indie horror film that just really impressed me. It is a kind of like three-phase horror film. My one complaint about it was I wish it was longer. I wish they had more time. And you can tell like it was an indie film. They kind of did one part and then fleshed it out more to like tell more of the story. But I really loved it. I thought it had a really great vibe, really creepy, really great use of like sound and angles and slow tension to kind of get you worried. And the first act was just beautiful, so good, so tense, such good acting, so unsettling in like a not unsettling way. Definitely think you should check it out if you like horror. Number 8 film, The Invisible Raptor. This is more of a like film I had no expectations. I thought it was gonna be terrible. I talked to the director and some of the stars and said like, I thought this movie was gonna be terrible. I loved it. It was so much fun. It was a very smart use of an indie budget. They went to their strengths, which was really funny writing, really silly situations, lots of movie references, specifically Spielberg references, and I just could not stop laughing throughout it. Sometimes an indie movie will come and the humor just doesn't hit with you. It just, falls flat. The jokes aren't good. This one is just entertaining through and through, so that is why it is on my list. Number 7, Hundreds of Beavers. Another indie movie, another movie that I was like, this is going to be terrible, and I just loved it. It's very clever. It's like a throwback black and white silent film that was clearly made by some friends. They looked like they had a ton of fun. Another very smart use of like an indie budget to make an entertaining and very unique movie. It is one of the most unique movies I've seen. And I mean, it's just a testament to how creative the writers, the director, the actors are that they were able to pull this off and make something that is so ridiculous and also just so much fun. Number 6, Dune Part 2. I love Dune. I haven't read the books, full disclosure, I haven't read the books, but just the world they create, the like level of detail in the special effects, the sound is just so good. And Dune Part 2 just continued what was so great about Dune Part 1. I didn't love it as much as Dune, like the original Dune, not the original Dune, but like Timothy Chalamet's Dune. But Dune Part 2 continued the story, gave us some more factions, gave us some amazing effects, some amazing sound, and just it was a theatrical treat. Number 5, The Wild Robot. It was my favorite animated movie of the year. I loved The Wild Robot. I thought it was clever. I thought it kind of tugged at your heartstrings in all the right way. I thought the animation was pretty unique. It had a very different style than a lot of other movies. And so, my top animated movies were basically, Wild Robot and Inside Out 2. But I liked Wild Robot more. I think it was a little bit more entertaining. I think it was a little funnier and definitely had some moments that really tugged at my heartstrings. Inside Out 2 did as well, but I think the Wild Robot was kind of the better overall pack. Number four, Oddity. Another wonderful horror movie, another great movie. This is the second movie from Damien McCarthy. I really enjoyed it. It just has this like really great sense of tension. Damien is a fantastic director and he loves kind of playing with the audience. He'll like zoom in on scenes and you're not sure if something's actually going to happen. And sometimes it doesn't. Sometimes it does. It really keeps you on edge. And it is just a really like rich, wonderful watching experience. You definitely have to pay attention because there are twists and turns. But overall, it's a very, very tense, very beautiful horror film. Number three, Sing Sing. This movie is just a feel-good movie. It's one that's gonna like make you feel good about life. It is about a drama program, a theater program in a prison, and just kind of like how that can help change people's lives, how it can bring a sense of community, and how it can like overcome some of the stereotypes of inmates. The whole program is amazing. Like if you do some research on it, the recidivism rate for people who are in the theater program in Sing Sing is insanely low. It's almost within the margin of error. I want to say it's like 3% versus the general prison population, which is much, much higher. I'm just pulling numbers out here. I'm not sure, but it was higher than 50%. I think it was like 60 or 70%. So the fact that this program is there, it is helping people, it is giving a sense of community, and it's also just a beautiful movie with some great performances by Coleman Domingo. But also a lot of Sing Sing alumni is just a treat to watch, a treat for your eyes, a treat for your heart, a treat for your soul. The number two, The Last Stop in Yuma County. I love this movie. It was my favorite movie for a bit until the number one movie took over, but it is a very well made, like Western indie film. I mean, I call it a Western. It's not like really a Western. It's like a like a Western tragedy thriller, but it is just the whole package. You've got great performances, you've got an interesting story, you've got lots of twists in here, you've got this beautiful sense of tension that builds up, you've got an amazing villain, an amazing hero. The only thing I didn't love is I felt like it went a little bit too much, I think it went a little bit too far in the end, but that does also give you some pretty intense scenes for an indie movie. So I really enjoyed this film. I thought it was very well done. I thought it was kind of the whole package. So definitely check out The Last Stop in Yuma County. Now, number one, my number one film of the year, The Secret Art of Human Flight. If you watch my videos, I made it pretty clear that I loved this movie. I thought it was clever. I thought it was funny. I thought it had a ton of heart. It definitely spoke to me emotionally in a way that not many movies do. It has this beautiful style. The director, H.P. Mendoza, is fantastic. He kind of like framed it in like an old time style. It has, like almost cue cards for the chapters, but it also is just clever. It is funny. It has a ton of heart. Some of the emotional scenes are some of the most emotional scenes I have seen in a movie. And I have watched this movie probably 5 times at this point. I love it every time. And often I enjoy it more on my rewatch. Often like it hits me more on my rewatch than on the original one. So I definitely think you should check it out. It's available on Amazon Prime. So definitely make time for The Secret Art of Human Flight. But hey, look, I think you should make time for all of these movies. So that is my top 10. I've got some honorable mentions, some other movies that I wanted to put on here, but kind of had to jostle. Usually I would put an indie movie up and then move a mainstream movie down. They're all kind of mainstream movies. So my honorable mentions are Nosferatu. Fantastic, beautiful cinematography, nice remake, like really great use of sound, really great use of effects, very unsettling story. Sonic 3, just a ton of fun. My favorite Sonic movie of the series, tons of movie references, tons of anime references, and just clever, enjoyable, just a thrill ride throughout. And The Fall Guy. I love The Fall Guy. Look, if you give me Ryan Gosling and Emily Blunt, I will enjoy it. I thought this movie was both a really good, like, who done it, but also a wonderful, like, homage to stunt people. They've just made kind of like in Twilight of the Warriors, where everything was destroyed. Every scene had some sort of destruction. This one, because it's an homage to stunt people, every scene had like a ridiculous over the top stunt, even if it didn't need to. Like someone would get hit by a car, there'd be an explosion. It was just over the top, but also very, very entertaining. So those are my honorable mentions. Those are my top 10 movies. If you've seen any of them, let me know what you think. Let me know in the comments. If you disagree with me, hey, that's fine. You can disagree with me. I'd love to hear your top movies of the year, but those are mine. And thanks so much for watching. If you like this top 10, then please like and subscribe to this channel. It helps me a lot. Make sure all my new content goes straight to you. Thank you and have a happy new year.